Elon's supersonic electronic plane idea, make or break. Over the course of history, humans have explored technology to push the boundary of what is possible. We have Elon Musk, the billionaire, entrepreneur, and CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and the Boring Company, who has long been known for pioneering an astounding spectrum of products that speak of his ingenuity that has made significant contribution in the global society. From revolutionizing the electric vehicle industry to making space travel more accessible, Musk has repeatedly surprised us with his technological feats, often achieving what was once thought impossible. Despite some setbacks, Elon has remained relentless in his pursuit of taking this venture to a whole new level. From land-based electric vehicles to VTOL supersonic jet, he is more ambitious than ever in his endeavor of transforming the airline industry. In this video, join us as we go over this modern-day genius upcoming supersonic plane idea, as well as the criticisms, suggestions, and speculations that surround it. Welcome to Stock Genius, where investing in generating deepening knowledge is the norm. If you're new to the channel, hit like and subscribe for more content like this. Now, we go back right into our topic today. There exists a myriad of problems highly produced by gas-fueled airplanes, like high fuel consumption and maintenance cost that makes them expensive to operate, the limited range that make them unsuitable for long-haul routes, the sonic boom noise pollution that interferes daily affairs, and the increasing detrimental environmental concerns. Did you know that in 2022, researchers calculated that aviation contributes around 4% to human-induced global warming, more than most countries do? Musk is well known for using technology in novel ways to solve environmental concerns and make sustainable living more accessible and comfortable. For instance, through Tesla, he has embarked on the production of electric vehicles, but he doesn't stop there. In fact, he has also long been considering elevating it to electric plane ideas. Experts say that along with reductions in carbon emissions, these are going to be fairly cost-effective, even with the current state of battery technology. Now, we first define this electronic vertical takeoff and landing supersonic jet in the simplest terms. This type of technology is perceived to possess the capacity to fly an airplane straight up and land like a drone. This is particularly useful in circumstances where there isn't room for horizontal takeoff. Elon has long dreamt and envisioned building a supersonic electronic VTOL jet. For him, it works well for reasons such as that of the higher you go, the better and the more efficient electric aircraft is. Whereas if you have a combustion aircraft, as you get higher, it tends to get worse because you have a kind of a fixed aperture and air scooped. Like the hole in front of the engine is a fixed size, so you have to pick a particular cruising altitude. And so you've got to figure out how you get the right amount of air at sea level all the way through really high altitude. Then you've got this issue of supersonic combustion that you see in it having to slow the air down, and it ends up being not that efficient. But electric aircraft would just get better and better as it got to higher. To sum his words, electric aircraft get more efficient the higher you go, which allows for supersonic speeds far faster with every elevation as it gets thinner, resulting in less resistance. For engines, you have to determine the right amount of air for an efficient operation. However, the case doesn't apply with electric planes. To reiterate, as an electric plane goes higher, the less resistance there is, making it much easier to fly faster in space than in the atmosphere. That his huge ideas we can trace back more than a decade ago. Way back in 2009, Elon said in a TechCrunch interview that an electric plane gets more feasible as battery energy improves. In 2020, he hinted at the possibilities of a prototype via Twitter. Though he has openly discussed this idea, we have not heard of his detailed plans and specifications yet. Perhaps we can only speculate that what is putting this idea on hold is his awareness of the risks and problems posed by supersonic electric VTOL. In a feature write-up entitled "Is Elon Musk's Supersonic Electric VTOL Jet Actually Possible?" Elon had highlighted three main problems that the vehicle might encounter in its production and development. First, the difficulty of developing an electric propulsor capable of operating at supersonic speeds. Second, the issue of constructing batteries that have both the particular energy required for supersonic cruising and the specific power required for vertical takeoffs and landings. Finally, the problem of fitting all of this onto a feasible supersonic airframe. First, it has been noted that the amount of thrust that can be generated by propellers at a high altitude will be restricted by how thin the air is, making supersonic flight impossible without the use of combustion. According to Harvest Zhang, a software engineer who has worked on renowned projects like Airbus, A-Cubed and Vahana eVTOL, as well as Facebook's solar-powered Aquila drone, the turbojets, and more generally, low bypass turbofans have been the way to go in the supersonic regime, relying on the compression and combustion in the jet engine core to generate the exit velocities required at supersonic speeds. Next to the problem in propellers, another essential factor to consider in the batteries, in 2018, Musk claimed that a jet would need at least 400 watt-hours per kilogram. That estimation, or even more, he claimed, would be the batteries dense enough to allow for vertical takeoff and landing. He asserted that it would be enough with a high life cycle and the production will likely happen in 4 years. However, as per critics, 400 is not enough, especially in flying a supersonic vehicle. They doubt the capability of batteries to ever come close to density of jet fuel. So, some suggested the use of hydrogen. Boogie Aero principal Ashish Bagay, a specialist in advanced vertical flight concepts, suggested that a hydrogen-based design that uses an advanced fuel cell for vertical and low-speed flight, supplemented by a propulsion unit that uses hydrogen as a combustible fuel to produce thrust for supersonic flight, may be a practical choice. This suggestion was made in the same article from Elon Musk that was previously cited. The challenge probably is to acquire hydrogen in a manner that is environmentally friendly. Lastly, we talk about the problem in its design or package. When combining individual battery cells into packs, any electric vehicle manufacturer is concerned with conserving weight while simultaneously safeguarding against damage and thermal runaway. Elon had cited scenarios such as issues with high-voltage batteries that make it susceptible to electric discharge, chilly weather that makes an eVTOL battery's electrochemical processes to be slower, and the issue of where to put batteries in a supersonic aircraft that account for 70% of its mass. We're loaded with too much information today, right? That speaks of how ambitious, critical, and mind-boggling that an idea is. We bet we're probably even at the surface of this issue, as there is more to be uncovered. It all comes down to one straightforward notion: the potential for building an electric airplane. The more complex areas of study that fall under this umbrella are the batteries, propellers, and the design that can make it all work. Those are even just a few that come with the engineering and factoring work. It sounds so simple, but it takes years of research and development, not to mention the money and manpower necessary to best realize and explore the possibility. Although critics and bystanders claim to be skeptics, some would like to give Musk the benefit of the doubt. He has long astounded us with his inventive technology initiatives, and we may see more of the same, or even greater ones with this. So, how about you? Do you think he can make this happen in the near future? Or will he break the concept in light of the situation that may persuade him otherwise? We would love to hear your thoughts. Together, we bring knowledge to new heights and depths. This is Talk Genius at Work, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more videos.